All right, everybody, buckle up because we're diving deep into The Boys season
Yeah.
4.
Oh, yeah.
And boy, the internet is exploding with fan reactions.
I know, right?
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Some fans are loving it, calling it totally diabolical,
Hmm.
while others are like, wait a minute, did they completely forget about the characters?
Yeah.
Like, what happened to the story?
Well, it's certainly a wild ride, right? The Boys has always been known for pushing the boundaries.
Totally.
But this season, it feels like people are asking, did they go too far?
Right.
Did they sacrifice good storytelling just to shock us with crazy moments?
Yeah, I mean, we all know The Boys is famous for its over-the-top violence and satire.
Oh, for sure.
But this season, did they maybe go a little overboard?
Yeah, did they forget about the characters we've come to love?
Yeah, and hate?
To love and hate amidst all the exploding heads and superhero craziness?
Exactly.
That's the big question, isn't it? Like, let's talk about Webweaver for a second.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that guy? The Spidey wannabe.
Oh, yeah.
Had a pretty, sticky ending. Yeah.
Visually, it was insane.
Oh, yeah.
Classic The Boys.
Totally.
But for a lot of fans, it felt kind of hollow.
It's like watching a fireworks show, right? It's all flashy and impressive.
Yeah.
But then when the smoke clears, you're just kind of left there like, was that it?
Right.
Especially because we barely knew the guy.
Exactly. It didn't have that emotional punch that the show's known for.
Right.
Remember when Grace died?
Oh, yeah.
Now that one had us all reaching for the tissues.
Oh, absolutely.
It hit hard because we were so invested in her relationship with Ryan and Butcher.
Yes.
We felt that loss.
Big time.
Yeah.
This season felt a little bit like a runaway train, just
Mhm.
barreling towards the finale at like 1,000,000 miles an hour.
Yeah, it feels like they were so focused on setting up that final showdown
Right.
that they kind of forgot to let the characters just breathe a little bit. You know?
Yeah, totally.
Big time.
Hey, look, another crazy thing. Don't worry. If it makes sense, just enjoy the carnage.
Yeah, and there's definitely a sense that some of the plot points felt forced, for sure. Like they were just crammed in for shock value
Yeah.
or to set up those spin-offs.
Yes, exactly.
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
Can a show like The Boys keep pushing the envelope without losing that heart?
Right.
That made it so great in the first place.
Yeah. Can they have their bloody cake and eat it too without leaving us with a bad taste in our mouth?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Now let's focus on one character who really got put through the ringer this season.
Okay.
Huey.
Oh, boy. Yes.
Talk about a traumatic roller coaster.
Yeah.
His dad dies. He gets assaulted by Tech Knight. Then, bam, he's dealing with a shapeshifter.
Yeah.
The poor guy just couldn't catch a break.
It was like the writers were playing trauma bingo with him.
Right.
It felt so rushed. Like, did we really have time to process everything that was happening to him?
That's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure we really got to see Huey fully deal with all the trauma.
No.
While the shapeshifter storyline was fun,
Yeah.
I don't know if it was
I'm fully
realized. Yeah, and let's not forget, Sage Homelander's new super smart strategist.
Oh, yeah.
She came in with so much promise.
She did.
But her master plan,
Yeah.
it felt like something out of a supervillain handbook.
Right. Her genius-level intellect was almost too convenient.
Yeah.
It was more of a plot device than a real character trait.
Yeah, it was a little hard to believe.
It stretched believability.
For sure.
Like, okay, she's smart, but predicting every little detail with perfect accuracy.
Right.
Even for someone like Sage, that felt a bit over the top.
Well, they much.
Even for the boys.
Yeah.
But on a more positive note, let's talk about Ryan for a second.
Okay.
His evolution this season has been fascinating.
It has.
We're seeing him struggle with his powers and his dark family history.
Right.
And it's not as simple as him just becoming another Homelander.
Right, he's not just a mini-Homelander in the making.
No,
The writers have given him real depth.
they have.
And his relationship with Butcher adds a whole other layer to his story.
It's tragic and compelling.
It really is.
And it leaves us wondering,
Yeah.
will he choose good or will he embrace the darkness?
Yeah.
I think the writers have done a great job of giving Ryan both agency and vulnerability.
Yeah.
He's not just a puppet of fate.
Right.
He's making choices,
Right.
even if they're heartbreaking ones.
Absolutely. And speaking of heartbreaking choices, let's go back to Grace's death for a minute.
Oh, yeah.
That scene was powerful.
It was
Really well done.
a masterclass in emotional storytelling.
It really was.
It wasn't about the gore or the violence.
Yeah.
It was about the weight of that loss, the impact it had on Ryan and Butcher.
It reminded us that the boys, can be really impactful without relying on shock tactics.
Absolutely.
It was raw and real, and it proved that sometimes the quietest moments hit the hardest.
Yeah, it's a testament to the show's ability to balance its over-the-top nature
Yeah.
with genuine emotion.
Yeah,
And that's what keeps us coming back for more.
totally.
Yeah.
So where does this leave us as we head into the final season? Well, things are definitely about to get crazy, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Season 4 has set us up for this epic showdown with Homelander.
It has.
And with America on the verge of falling under his control, the stakes couldn't be higher.
They couldn't.
So now we're left with this big question.
Yeah.
Will the final season be a satisfying conclusion?
Right. Will it tie up all the loose ends?
Yeah, will it balance all the action with the emotional weight
Mm-hmm.
and give us a finale that's both mind-blowing and meaningful?
Yeah, because let's be real, we're all invested in these characters now.
We are.
We've been on this crazy journey with them for 4 seasons.
We have.
And we want to see their stories pay off.
Yes.
And not just with a bunch of explosions and superhero fights,
Right.
but in a way that feels earned, you know?
Absolutely, because The Boys has always been more than just a superhero show.
So much more.
It's like a twisted reflection of our own world,
Mm-hmm.
a commentary on power and corruption and the dark side of fame.
It holds a mirror up to society and makes us ask some tough questions.
It does.
Like, are we all just part of this messed up system?
Yeah. And while the crazy stuff and the humor are definitely entertaining,
Sure.
it's the characters and their struggles that really make us think.
It's that emotional core that connects with us.
Totally.
It's what makes us care about what happens to Butcher and Huey and Starlight,
Yeah.
even Homelander.
Okay, so here's a thought.
Yeah.
Knowing that the writers were setting up the final season with all the twists and turns in season 4,
Right.
does that make you more excited for what's to come?
It's an interesting question. Did all the crazy moments and the hold on to your hat stuff
Yeah.
actually make you more excited?
Yeah, or did it leave you feeling a little nervous?
Mhm.
Like, are they going to sacrifice character development for one last explosion of spectacle?
Right. Are we going to get all flash and no substance?
Exactly. It's a gamble, right?
It is.
Do we trust the writers to stick the landing and give us a finale that lives up to the hype?
Or are they going to go for shock value and leave us feeling disappointed?
I guess we'll have to wait and see, but I know I'll be glued to my screen. It's The Boys.
Hey.
After all, we're all in for this crazy ride no matter what.
No matter what.
We wouldn't be doing our job if we didn't leave you with something to think about.
That's right.
We've talked a lot about shock value versus character development,
We have.
but there's another layer to this whole thing.
What's that?
The nature of satire itself.
Oh, interesting.
The Boys
Mm-hmm.
has always been this giant middle finger to our obsession with superheroes and celebrity worship and the abuse
Yeah.
of power.
Right.
But as the show gets more and more popular,
Yeah.
does it risk becoming part of the very machine it's trying to take down?
Oh.
So is it like the more successful The Boys becomes, the more it risks becoming just another part of the corporate superhero machine,
Exactly. Can it stay true to its message while also being a mainstream hit?
right?
Can it criticize the system from the inside without losing its edge?
Yeah.
It's a tough balancing act.
Mind blown. So what do you think? Can The Boys pull it off? Can they have their cake and eat it too? And then throw the plate at the whole bakery?
Only time will tell, but in the meantime, we want to hear from you.
Yes.
Did season 4 hit the mark for you?
Yeah. Did the shock value overshadow the character development?
Are you excited or terrified for the final season?
Let us know in the comments.
Yeah, keep the conversation going.
And that's a wrap on our deep dive into The Boys, Season 4.
That's right.
We'll be back soon to dissect another pop culture phenomenon. But until then, stay curious, stay critical, and don't let the soupieds get you down.
See ya. And speaking of heartbreaking choices, let's go back to Grace's death for a second.
Oh, yeah.
It was a masterclass in emotional storytelling.
Yeah, it wasn't about all the blood and guts.
No.
It was about how heavy that loss felt and the impact it had on Ryan and Butcher. It
Exactly.
was a good reminder that The Boys can really hit you in the feels without using all those shock tactics.
It was raw. It was real. And it proved that sometimes those quiet moments are the ones that really stay with you.
For sure. So where does all this leave us as we head into the final season?
Good question.
Well, I think it's safe to say things are about to get even crazier.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Season 4 set us up for this huge showdown with Homelander.
Yep.
And with America basically on the verge of becoming his own little playground, the stakes are super high.
Higher than ever.
So the big question is, will the final season give us a satisfying ending?
Right. Will it tie up all the loose ends?
Will it balance all the crazy action with the emotional stuff?
And ultimately, will it give us a finale that blows our minds but also feels meaningful?
Because let's be honest here, we're all invested in these characters now.
So we've been with them for 4 seasons.
Yeah, we've seen them go through so much.
And we want to see them get the ending they deserve.
Exactly, and not just an ending with a bunch of explosions and superheroes fighting.
Right.
We want it to feel earned.
Like it all meant something.
Right, because The Boys has always been more than just another superhero show.
Oh, way more.
It's like this twisted reflection of our own world. You know, it's a commentary on power and corruption and all the messed up stuff that comes with fame.
It makes you look at society and ask some tough questions.
It does.
Like, are we all just cogs in this messed up machine?
Yeah. And even though all the crazy stuff and the humor is really entertaining,
Definitely.
it's the characters and their struggles that really make us stop and think.
It's that emotional core that resonates with us.
Totally. It's what makes us care about Butcher and Huey and Starlight and, yeah, even Homelander.
In a weird way.
So here's a thought.
Okay.
Knowing that the writers were intentionally setting up the final season with all those crazy twists and turns in season 4, does that make you even more excited for what's to come?
It's interesting, isn't it? Did all those hold on to your seats moments actually make you more excited?
Or did it leave you a little nervous? Like, are they going to sacrifice the characters we love for one last explosion fest?
Right. Are we going to get all flash and no substance?
That's the gamble.
Right.
It is a gamble.
Do we trust the writers to stick the landing and give us a finale that's as good as we're all hoping for?
Or are they going to prioritize shock value and leave us feeling kind of let down?
I guess we'll just have to tune in and find out.
Exactly.
It's The Boys. We can't resist, even if it's totally bonkers.
Correct.
But we wouldn't be doing our job if we didn't leave you with a little something extra to think about.
That's right.
We've been talking about shock value versus character development.
Right.
But there's another layer to all this.
Oh, yeah. What's that?
The nature of satire.
Okay. I like where this is going.
The Boys has always been this huge middle finger to our obsession with superheroes and celebrity worship and just abuse of power in general.
Absolutely.
But as the show becomes more and more popular, does it run the risk of becoming part of the very thing it's trying to tear down? Whoa, that's a good point.
So, like, the more successful The Boys gets, the more it risks becoming just another part of that whole corporate superhero machine.
Exactly. Can it still criticize the system from within without losing its edge?
Yeah.
It's a tough question.
And it is mind-blowing.
It really is.
So what do you think? Can the boys pull it off? Can they have their cake, eat it too, and then chuck the whole plate at the bakery?
Only time will tell, but in the meantime, we want to hear from you.
Yeah.
Did season 4 work for you? Did all the shock value get in the way of the characters?
Yeah. Are you excited or are you scared for the final season?
Let us know in the comments.
Keep that conversation going.
For sure.
Well, that wraps up our deep dive into The Boys, season 4.
It does.
We'll be back soon to break down another pop culture phenomenon.
Can't wait.
But until then, stay curious, stay critical, and don't let those soupies get to ya.
See you later.